Governor Sanwo-Olu restates plans to deliver upgraded investments to create integrated mobility system in Lagos State. Federal government condemns attack, vows to rescue abducted Kebbi schoolgirls. On the foreign scene, United Nations Security Council backs President Donald Trump's plan for Gaza. And in sports, Nigeria dominates Africa's first-run archery tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. In all the details, I am Mike James. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has restated his administration's commitment to building a multimodal transport infrastructure and upgraded investment to create an integrated mobility system in Lagos. Governor Sanwo-Olu stated this as the chief host of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria FAN National Aviation Conference at Victoria Island with the theme Elevating the Nigerian Aviation Industry Through Investment, Partnership and Global Engagement. According to him, the state government is deliberately designing and harnessing investment opportunities on the proposed Lekki International Airport, expected to transport 5 million passengers yearly, and building world-class industrial district, restating commitment to support efforts of FAN. He had this to say.
The heart of the nation's next generation story. Every serious conversation about Nigeria's economic future at some point lands in some way on the aviation. Aviation is not just an aircraft movement or passenger number. It is about competitiveness. Aviation is about connectivity and it's about convenience building. It's about whether investors can reach our market easily. It's about where our cargo moves effectively. And it's about whether tourism can truly flourish and whether Nigerians at home and in diaspora can remain connected to connectivity and opportunity at home.
While declaring the conference open, President Bola Tinubu, who was represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, also said his administration would remain focused on safety, efficiency and sustainability of the sector.
We're already on track through the simplification of regulatory procedures, promoting transparency and offering incentives in areas such as airports, infrastructure, aircraft leasing, maintenance and training. We're also working on fiscal reforms that will ensure clarity and lend its hand to overall investment and policy coherence. Let me, at this point, reassure all our partners, potential foreign investors, that there has never been a time like now to invest.
Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, said the discussion at the two-day program will touch airport infrastructure, modernization, world-class maintenance, repairs and overhaul center, aviation leasing companies, cargo and logistics hubs to unlock agro-exports development, among other initiatives. In a welcome speech, FAN's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Olubunmi Kuku said a robust foundation had been laid under the visionary leadership of President Tinubu, stating that 6 airports and numerous runways are undergoing a government-funded transformation with direct investment in the country's shared future. The Lagos State House of Assembly has confirmed receipt of the request from Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to schedule a substantive date for the presentation of the 2026 appropriation bill. During the plenary session presided over by the Speaker Mudashiru Obasa, Governor Sanwo-Olu's letter, which outlines a proposed total budget estimate of 4.237 trillion naira for the 2026 fiscal year, was read on the floor of the House by the clerk, Olalekan Onofeko. In his letter, Governor Sanwo-Olu expressed appreciation for the sustained collaboration and constructive engagements between the executive and the Obasa-led assembly, stressing that the unwavering support of the House has been instrumental in driving the development agenda and delivering key initiatives that continue to improve the quality of life across Lagos State. Governor Sanwo-Olu added that these collective efforts have strengthened governance, enhanced public trust, and ensured steady progress in fulfilling shared mandate to the people of Lagos. Responding, Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, welcomed the governor's communication and highlighted the responsibility of the Assembly to engage in thorough deliberations. Also at plenary, the Assembly confirmed the nominations of Mrs. Adiemo Khadijat as the Executive Secretary, Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission, and Mrs. Adepoju Adebajo as the Chairman, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSCTF. The Lagos State AIDS Control Agency, LSACA, has announced the commencement of its statewide free HIV testing services, scheduled to hold across all local government areas and local council development areas from now to December 1. This initiative forms a major component of activities lined up for the 2025 World AIDS Day and reinforces LSACA's commitment to expanding access to HIV testing, promoting early diagnosis, and strengthening linkage to care. The agency aims to close existing testing gaps while deepening community awareness on HIV prevention, management, and stigma reduction. Speaking on the upcoming exercise, Chief Executive Officer of LSACA, Folakemi Animashaw, emphasized the critical role of early testing in advancing the state's public health objectives. Animashaw said LSACA, working in collaboration with development partners and community-based organizations, has deployed trained counselor testers, adequate testing kits, condoms, and IEC materials to ensure smooth implementation across the state. She further encouraged residents to take advantage of the designated testing points within their LGAs and LCDAs to access the free, confidential, and non-judgmental services, reaffirming the state government's dedication to improving healthcare access and highlighting ongoing efforts to expand HIV testing and counseling centers. The wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, has called on Nigerians to ensure adequate protection for all children against sexual exploitation and abuse. Mrs. Tinubu made a call in Abuja to mark the World Day for the Prevention and Healing from Child Sexual Exploitation and Sexual Abuse 2025 with the theme Strengthening the Protection of Children Against Sexual Exploitation and Sexual Abuse through Evidence-Based Policymaking. She urged parents and the wider society to prioritize the safety of children and make it a collective responsibility to protect them from any form of sexual abuse. And according to her, as a nation, there is the need to ensure that every child grows up free from fear and harm. Mrs. Tinubu called on government agencies, civil society, traditional and religious leaders, parents, and young people to work together to create a protective environment where children can feel safe to thrive. And now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has condemned the attack on Gabon Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, MAGA, in Kebbi State, which claimed the life of the vice principal and led to the abduction of 25 students. In a statement signed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, the federal government said security and intelligence agencies have been given clear directives to locate, rescue, and safely return the student, and to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice. The government expressed deep concern and solidarity with the families of the abducted students, saying it shares in their pain and remains firmly committed to securing the release of the girls. A resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Osun State, Mutiu Agboke, has urged political parties in the state to conduct their primaries in accordance with the law. Agboke said the lawful conduct of party primaries is critical ahead of the 2026 gubernatorial election in the state. The REC appealed to all registered political parties in the state to strictly adhere to the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the Commission's guidelines and regulations for the conduct of their primaries. Agboke said, in line with the guidelines released by the INEC National Headquarters, political party primaries for the 2026 gubernatorial election in Osun are scheduled to hold between November 24 and December 15. INEC has fixed August 8, 2026 for the gubernatorial election. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, has alerted the public to a fraudulent message circulating online claiming the NEL Fund student loan registration portal is open. The message directs applicants to a third-party link, which NEL Fund confirms is unauthorized and fraudulent. In a post on its X handle, NEL Fund urged students and the general public not to click on the link or provide any personal information, emphasizing that the official loan registration portal is only accessible through the fund's verified channels. The agency reminded applicants to exercise caution online and to report suspicious links. The Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress says the party remains committed to a future built on stability, reforms, democratic consolidation, and genuine empowerment of Nigerians, and not the fantasy politics of those who lost power, lost public trust. This was contained in a statement signed by its spokesperson, Sheye Oladejo, following the latest declaration of People's Democratic Party's Bello Turaki to return power to Nigerians. The Lagos APC urged him to first seek legitimacy from his own party members and leaders and unite his platform. And now to foreign news. The United Nations Security Council has voted in favor of a U.S.-drafted resolution that endorses United States President Donald Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza. Included in the plan is the establishment of an International Stabilization Force, ISF, to which the U.S. says multiple unnamed countries have offered to contribute. The resolution was backed by 13 countries, including the United Kingdom, France, and Somalia, with one voting against the proposal, while Russia and China abstained. Spokesperson for UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said adopting it was an important step in the consolidation of the ceasefire. But Hamas has rejected the resolution, saying it fails to meet Palestinians' rights and demands. Under the resolution, the ISF will work with Israel and Egypt, along with the newly trained and vetted Palestinian police force, to help secure border areas and ensure the process of permanently disarming non-state armed groups, including Hamas. Trump's peace plan, in effect, suspended the fighting between Israel and Hamas that had raged since Hamas-led gunmen attacked Israel on October 7, 2023. And finally, sports news. Nigeria delivered a commanding performance at the first ever run Archie tournament in Africa, making a bold statement on the continental stage and showcasing the nation's growing strength in Côte d'Ivoire. The historic competition held in Abidjan brought together athletes from across West Africa for a high-energy display of endurance, precision and speed. Nigeria's representatives from Zen Archery Club Lagos emerged as the standout performance, sweeping gold medals in both individual and team events. Run archery, a dynamic hybrid sport combining competitive running with archery marksmanship, is rapidly expanding globally, and Nigeria's medal sweep in Abidjan highlights the country's potential to lead in Africa. And that was our news at 10. Just before we go, always check your mirrors before changing lanes or making a U-turn. Blind spots can hide approaching vehicles for motorcycles.
News from Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.
You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, on Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. I can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio on my Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration completed and inaugurated Mother and Child Center, Badagry? Well, you can get more details on the Legacy Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Legacy Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has restated his administration's commitment to building a multimodal transport infrastructure and upgraded investment to create an integrated mobility system in Lagos. The federal government has condemned the attack on Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, Maga, in Kebbi State, which claimed the life of the vice principal and led to the abduction of 25 students. We also told you that United Nations Security Council has voted in favor of a U.S.-drafted resolution that endorses United States President Donald Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza. And in sports, Nigeria delivered a commanding performance at the first-ever Run Archery tournament in Africa, making a bold statement on the continental stage and showcasing the nation's growing strength in Côte d'Ivoire. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbolagun. Thank you for listening, Lagos. My name is Mike James. Good morning to you.